What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. This was always a hot button issue here at the Power Play. Going back to when it was founded in 2011. What the lines for the next Olympic team are going to look like, regardless of how far away it is. And in this case, we're 2.5 years away from when they go to South Korea, and the NHL may not be going, but hypothetically, we're going to pretend the NHL is going, and I'm going to talk about my lines for the men's team, and I'll probably do one on the women's team soon. I've kind of been spitballing that. Big thing with the women's team is Amanda Kessel's health. She's obviously one of the best players in the world, and yada yada. That's another segment entirely. Right now, here are my forward lines for the 2018 U.S. Olympic team if the NHL goes over. Top line: Max Pacioretty, Patrick Kane, Jack Eichel down the middle. Yep, I'd put a 21-year-old kid down there because I think he's that good. I think he's ready for the responsibility, and I think his skill set is good enough to the point where he can play with a Pacioretty and a Pat Kane. Second line: Derek Stepan, center, and Johnny Gaudreau, and Phil the Thrill Kessel. Obviously Amanda's brother. I think that line could really create. You look at the creativity, Stepan and Gaudreau has to Gaudreau, and then Kessel's goal scoring ability. That'd be a defense's worst nightmare having to face those three. Third line: Alex Galchenyuk, Tyler Johnson, and Kyle Okposo. Okposo should have been on the last team. Absolute joke, he wasn't. Galchenyuk is this generation's Brett Holland. How American is he? But he's an American citizen, so we'll roll with him. And then likewise, Tyler Johnson, coming on, having a great year last year for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and helping the Lightning go to the Stanley Cup final. Fourth line: new Columbus Blue Jackets winger Brandon Saad and Nick Bjugstad down the middle, with Austin Matthews. Yes, the kid who will be 20 years old on the right wing. My thing with Matthews is I have no issue with the fact that he'll be one of the younger players in the Olympics. He's a phenom. His skill set is amazing. And you look at the way even the NHL teams have been constructed in recent years. Skill. Puck possession. You don't need a line of cement heads as your fourth line, and I think Matthews is good enough where you can play with those guys. And JVR as your 13th forward. Meaning, a lot of players: Dustin Brown, Ryan Kessler, TJ Oshie, David Backes, and mostly Zach Parise left at home. Parise was the toughest call to make, but I'm going youth this time around. USA Hockey erred in going too heavy on veterans in 2014. Left a lot of creativity at home, and quite frankly, we're a country in terms of our hockey depth where you can't afford to not have that offensive creativity. I think Matthews and Eichel both possess it, and I think by that point they'll be showing it in the NHL just how good they are. And having those guys playing those big time minutes on the national stage doesn't bother me. I'd rather lose with this lineup than bring a Backes or a Dustin Brown, who's you look at the way those two guys play, particularly Brown, because he's actually not that big. Taking those hits every night, throwing those hits, that wears out your body. And you're seeing it now with Brown. He's not the player he was 2 years ago, and that's just a fact. You look at how great he was in 2012 run to the Stanley Cup final. Hasn't been the same player since, some ways. So that's something to keep an eye on. But again, I like the skill set this forward core has, and I think they can do some really good things. And again, I want the young kids on the team. Plain and simple. Defense, I got Ryan McDonough and John Carlson as your top pairing. Pretty straightforward. Shattenkirk and Nick Leddy as your second pairing, and Jason Trouba and Ryan Suter as your third pairing, with Falk, Seth Jones, or Cam Fowler as your seventh defenseman. Those guys I roll with. Even I'm kind of sounding hypocritical here. I'm cutting Parise but bringing Suter. I think Suter will still be able to play that level, and you need those defensemen that have that experience. I want experience on D. I'm willing to take him as the veteran of the group. And then the goalies as of now: Ben Bishop, John Quick, Corey Schneider. They're pretty straightforward. But the Parise omission would be the one that I think would cause the most grief, if you will. In a lot of ways, it'd be like when they cut Cammy Granato from the women's team in 2005-2006. A lot of backlash over that. She was an icon, the face of hockey in the United States in so many ways, and they really screwed her to the wall. Is probably the best way to describe it. So we'll see how that happens, but it's really it's the first draft. the first draft, which should be a great essay, if you will, to use a scholarly reference. But I love spitballing these ideas, and I think whatever happens, the U.S. will be in a good situation. Obviously, Canada will be the deepest team over there. We all know that, but I think there's a possibility the men and women of Team USA both bring home the gold medal in 2018, particularly the women's team, because that core nucleus I tweeted this other night has been together for almost 10 years now, and there's going to be some turnover with the Canadian team, so we'll see how it happens. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes for the off season and beyond. Later, guys.